Welcome back to my kitchen, Real Women of Philadelphia and Anna Olson. Today we're in my kitchen. It is round 2, week 1 for appetizer week, and today I'm going to be making for you shrimp parmesan baskets. So they're little thin crisps of parmesan that are baked up and molded into basket shapes and then filled with a yummy filling of capers. We've got our light Philadelphia garden vegetable cream cheese and some really yummy cooked up shrimp. So to get started, what I have is some thawed raw shrimp. It's already been deveined, but it still has the shell on it. So all I need to do is to take off the shell and the tail of each one, and then we'll be ready to cook them up. Okay, so they're all done. Just takes 2 minutes to do. What I'm going to do now is just pat them dry with a paper towel. Just want to remove any excess water that may still be sitting here. And then they're ready to go into my hot pan. So I'm just going to head over to my stove. I've got my pan. It's all preheated, ready to cook up our shrimp. So I'm just going to add to my hot pan a couple tablespoons of hot or olive oil to the hot pan. Going to swirl it around a little bit. It's ready to go. And then I'm going to add my shrimp. It only takes a couple of minutes for shrimp to cook up. I'm going to just add a citrus basil rub to them, just for some added flavoring. You could add any seafood grill seasoning that you like. This is my choice, my preference, but I'm sure we've all got a seafood seasoning that we enjoy. We're just going to let them cook until they get nice and pink. So just 2 to 3 minutes per side, and then they'll be ready to flip. So I've turned my shrimp over, and it only took a couple of minutes to get them nice and pink and curled up, ready to go. So all I'm going to do now is just add a little bit of salt. Just because the seasonings that I use don't have any extra salt, so I like to finish it off with a little bit of extra salt. I'm going to remove these from the pan into a clean bowl, and then just let them cool while I get the Parmesan crisps going. They smell delicious. Alright, so these are ready. We'll just let them cool off. We'll head back over to our cooking. So now what we're going to do is I have a baking sheet that's lined with a silicone baking mat. You could use a Silpat, you could use parchment paper, anything would work fine. And then what I have here is some Parmesan cheese. So I can't pronounce this, Parmigiano Reggiano, as close as I can get. So I just have a coarse grate here, and all I'm going to do is grate this up. You really don't need very much, about half a cup is pretty much all it will take. Depending on the amount that you want to make too, of course, will make a difference in how much you need. So then what we're going to do is, once you have all your cheese grated up, you're going to take approximately a tablespoon and drop them by moundfuls right on your baking mat. I like to pat them out so that they're flat, and then we're going to bake them in the oven at 350 degrees for only 4 minutes approximately. You just want them to be melted, but we don't want them to be crisp because we want to mold them. So I'll just keep doing this, and we'll be back to shape them up. So the last batch is done. I've decided to make up a whole bunch because I'm going to a party tonight. So what I've done is I've taken them out. You'll see that they've melted perfectly, and I just give them about 30 seconds to a minute to cool just a little bit so that they can be worked on nice and easily. So I'm going to take a flat spatula here. It's really for icing cakes, but it does a good job for dual purpose. Bring it over to my mini muffin pan, and I have a little tool that helps me shape it. So I can poke it right in the center so it gives it a nice spot for our filling. And you'll see I've done that with all the others. And you just let them cool. It doesn't take very long for them to cool at all, and then they get crisp and crunchy. If they're too thick when you put them on the sheet in the first place, they'll actually be chewy. So the thinner amount that you can put on and spread it out, the better, because they will be crispier. So I'll just get my pan out of the way. And now we'll make our filling. So for our filling, we've got a cutting board here and our cooked shrimp. All I'm going to do is take our cooked shrimp and chop them up and add them into my bowl. So they're cooled to the touch, very easy to work with here. I'm not being too precise about the size of them, just little bite-sized pieces. It's nice to get a good-sized piece of shrimp in each appetizer because it tastes so much better when you know how much you're getting. And just to make sure they taste great. Really good. So we're just going to add the shrimp to our bowl. I missed it. Delicious. So now I'm going to take our garden vegetable light cream cheese. I'm going to take half of this container and I'm going to mix it into our filling. Vegetable because it's got all kinds of added flavors into it. If you did choose a plain cream cheese, you can add to some herbs and seasonings if you'd like. But I chose this one because it's got lots of great flavor and it's going to add that creamy texture. Oh, it smells so good. The only extra thing that I'm going to add is a couple of tablespoons of capers. I like capers. They're buds of flowers that are pickled. People think that they come from seafood of some kind, but they don't. They pair really nice with seafood though. So I'm just going to mix that in. And our filling is done. Nice and easy. So now I'm going to just fill them up. Now we're going to put them on a platter and give them a try. So with 2 spoons, I'm just going to take a little bit and place it in the center of each little basket. So it's springtime. It's finally the time that I was able to make my own herb garden. And with this herb garden, I use it all summer long, and I keep it for every recipe that I have. I love to add a little bit of fresh herbs. So I've got my selection here of rosemary, parsley, basil, thyme, and oregano. So I'm just going to take a little bit of the parsley actually, and I'm going to use it as a garnish on our appetizer today. Okay. So using my fresh parsley, I've garnished with 1 little leaf on each basket here. You can see they formed up perfectly just to hold our ingredients on the inside. So now let's give them a try. Creamy, cheesy, really easy to make. What a great appetizer to bring to my party tonight. I hope that you give this recipe a try and I hope that you enjoyed it. You'll see me again soon.